Hey there, welcome to the Jerry Falwell Library. We're going to do some training today since this is your first day as a borrowing services worker. Are you excited? Well, head on inside and we'll get started. Nice place, huh? Let me introduce you to the places you'll be working. First is the book tower. It's made up of 4 different floors: terrace, first, second, and third. These house the newest and most frequently used books. We also have 2 floors in the reading room. This is where the literature and language collection, classified as the P section, goes. Borrowing Services is responsible for the maintenance of the shelves in these areas. This requires shelving, shelf reading, straightening, and dusting. If you're ready, we'll get started. The first thing you need to learn is call numbers. All the books are organized by the Library of Congress system. Each book has a spine label designating the proper location of the book according to the system. Take a look at the first book you have there. Call numbers are basically read in the order of alphabetical, numerical, and so on. Put the book on the cart and we'll go from there with the next book. The next book starts with BT. Because T comes after S, this book will go after the first book, and now it is BS, then BT. Now we'll take another book and see what comes next. We see that the first few lines of the call number look identical to the first book we looked at. We see a difference though at the third line. This is M55. That means it will come directly after the first book, but in front of the BT book. Now take a look at the next book. Just like before, the first few lines are identical, but we see a difference on the third line. Since it's M554, it comes after M55, so put it in the place after the one we just shelved. No, that's upside down. There you go. Next book. Now we read that the first line is the same, but now the second line is different. 2651 comes before 2665, so it will go at the very front of the cart. The next book is a little tricky. Be sure to read through the entire call number. The difference is now that the third line reads M58. Numerically, 5 comes before 8. Even though 58 is a smaller number than 554, after the decimal point you arrange the numbers numerically. This makes the book come after M554. What's the matter? You look confused. Oh, I see. The books are identical, but you have to make sure to read the entire call number all the way down to the bottom. Here you'll see that the years are different. So the 1987 copy goes before the 1988 copy. Does that all make sense? Are you ready to put this into use with shelving and shelf reading? Well, great. Then let's move on to shelving. When a patron returns a book, they will take it to the CSC. A worker there will then check the book in and shelve it on a cart. There are 2 carts, one for the book tower and one for the reading room. When a cart is full, a CSL will check to make sure it's in order and put a note on it to indicate that it's ready. That's where you come along. And now you get to experience the joys of shelving. time to actually shelve the books. You need to put the books on the shelves in call number order, which is what you just learned. No, not too far back. And don't let it hang over the edge either. Perfect. Why don't you try another one? Aw, you just tipped the books over. When that happens, you need to stand them up straight again. Take the bookend. Yes, that's the bookend. Now push it against the books so that they are all standing up straight. Good job! I think you've got the hang of this. So let's move on to shelf reading next. An important job for borrowing services is to keep the shelves neat by shelf reading. The first task is to make sure the books are all in call number order. If you see any out of order, put them in the correct location on the shelf. Looks great! Next, you need to make sure that the books are all standing up straight. Push the bookend against the last book to help them stay up. Awesome! The next step is to make sure that the books are straight along the edge of the shelf. The books shouldn't be hanging over the edge of the shelf. They should form a straight line along the edge of the shelf. Perfect! You need to continue these steps throughout the whole stack while shelf reading. Oh no, it looks like you've got a problem there. We don't want the shelves to be too uneven and crowded, so with a shelf like that, you need to shift some books to the shelves above and or below it. If shifting like this will cause books to go to the next floor or stack, let a supervisor know so that they can make cataloging changes as necessary. Shelf reading can take a while, so I'll leave you to it. How's it coming? Oh boy. The books are straight, but they need to be straight along the edge of the shelf. That'll need to be fixed, so I'll come back in an hour and see how you're doing. Are you done? You'll be doing a lot of shelf reading while working here. The shelves can get out of order pretty quickly, so they need to be shelf read often. The books get out of order really quickly, so it's important to shelf read a lot. Now you're going to learn about straightening. Straightening is basically a condensed version of shelf reading. The only difference is that you don't have to read the call numbers. Everything else is the same though. Adjust the books so that they make a straight line along the edge of the shelf. Then push the books to stand them up straight with bookends. Now we'll move on to dusting. You'll need these. The dusting supplies are located in cabinets in the mending/break room. You'll need spray and a Swiffer to really pick up that dust. When dusting, make sure to get the edge and the empty parts of the shelf, the front and the tops of the books, and behind the books. Looks great! Now we're going to move on to roving. Customers have the ability to return books to the information desk at the terrace, second, and third floors of the book tower. The returned books will be on the black cart alongside the desk until it is checked in by a CSC worker. The worker will discharge the book and then place it in a white canvas bag underneath the desk. This is where you come in to do roving. When you are assigned to rove, you will go to each of the information desks and ask for the books in the white bag in order to shelve them. You will be doing this every hour that we are open. Do not touch books that are on the black carts. These are not checked in and therefore aren't ready for you to take. Once you get the book, you need to shelve it in the correct location. Great job! It looks like you've got the concept of roving down. Now it's time to discuss in-house. It's now time to discuss your last section of Stax training. In-house is the term we use to describe walking through the entire building, looking for books and straightening up. This happens every night and at various times throughout the day. The first thing to do is go through all the stacks on all 4 floors of the book tower and the 2 floors of the reading room. Look up and down at the stacks as you go for any books that are lying on the shelves. Also, be on the lookout for any books that are lying around on tables, chairs, or the floor. Wind your way around the stacks to make sure you are looking at every shelf. Along with picking up books along the way, straighten any out-of-place furniture you see and push in chairs. Make sure you go through the entire building during in-house. Along with the book tower, you need to go through the reading room, the Dodec Technology Commons, various learning commons or seating areas in both wings of the building, stairwells, and outdoor spaces. Books are left everywhere, and it is your job to find them. So that's everything you need to know about the Stax part of our training. You're doing a great job so far, and on your way to being a fantastic borrowing services worker.